Imagine this. You're walking through a silent forest on the coast of North Carolina. The year is 1590. You push through the tangled brush until you arrive at a clearing. But what you see leaves your heart pounding. The wooden houses are empty. Doors creak on their hinges, abandoned. Smoke does not rise from the chimneys. Laughter no longer echoes in the air. An entire community, more than 100 men, women, and children, has vanished. The only clue? A single word carved into a post, CROATOAN. This is not a scene from a novel. This is history. This is the story of the Lost Colony of Roanoke, one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of America. But before we dive into this chilling tale, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. Here, we uncover mysteries of history, stories that still haunt us today. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. The story begins in the late 1500s. England, under Queen Elizabeth I, longed for glory, wealth, and power. Spain had already claimed much of the New World, and England needed to stake its own claim. Sir Walter Raleigh, a favorite of the Queen, received a charter, established a colony in North America. For Raleigh and the Crown, this was more than exploration. It was a chance to expand influence, find gold, and build a foothold against Spain. For the settlers, it was a dream, a chance at a new life, filled with hope, land, and freedom from the struggles of crowded England. But dreams, as history reminds us, often come at a cost. In 1587, more than 100 settlers, men, women, and children, set sail across the Atlantic. Imagine the creaking of wooden ships, the endless crashing of waves, the wind tearing at sails. The journey was long, dangerous, and unforgiving. Months at sea meant sickness, fear, and longing, yet spirits were lifted by hope. Mothers whispered to their children about fertile lands waiting across the ocean. Fathers envisioned homes, fields, and futures brighter than any they could imagine back in England. At last, they reached the coast of what is now North Carolina, Roanoke Island. For them, this was the edge of the world. Towering trees, uncharted forests, and unfamiliar shores stretched out before their eyes. They had arrived in the new world. But the land, though full of promise, was also full of challenges. At first, life in Roanoke seemed manageable. They built homes, explored the island, and tried to establish trade with nearby indigenous peoples. But soon, hardship struck. Food supplies began to run dangerously low. Crops failed. The climate was harsher than they had imagined, and sickness spread quickly among the settlers. Many suffered quietly, clinging to hope, while others grew restless, fearful, even desperate. Relationships with the local tribes were delicate. At times, there were moments of peace, trade, cautious exchanges, even small gestures of friendship. But tensions were never far away. Misunderstandings led to clashes, and trust was fragile. Imagine the weight of those days. Hungry children, exhausted parents, and the growing fear that the dream of the new world might become a nightmare. Governor John White, leader of the colony, knew something had to be done. Supplies were dwindling, and the settlers' survival was at risk. So in 1587, he made the painful decision to return to England for help. He promised the colonists, his family, his friends, that he would be back quickly with food, tools, and reinforcements. But fate had other plans. War broke out between England and Spain, and White was unable to return for 3 long years. Finally, in 1590, he made the journey back. Imagine his anticipation, the pounding of his heart as the ship neared Roanoke. He must have dreamed of warm embraces, smiling faces, and a colony thriving against the odds. Instead, he found silence. The homes were deserted. There were no settlers, no signs of struggle or tragedy. No graves, no bodies, no cries for help. The colony had simply vanished. The only trace left behind was a carving on a post, CROATOAN, another carving on a tree, read only, CRO. But what did it mean? Had they gone willingly? Had something darker happened here? The answers have remained hidden for centuries. The mystery of the lost colony has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and storytellers for over 400 years. Many theories have been proposed, each as haunting as the last. Some believe the settlers moved to CROATOAN Island, now known as Hatteras Island, and may have joined with friendly indigenous peoples, blending into their communities? If so, perhaps they lived on, though their English identity vanished into history. Others suggest starvation and disease forced them to abandon Roanoke, scattering into the wilderness in search of food and shelter. But why would they leave no trace behind? There are theories of relocation, that they attempted to sail north or inland to find a safer home. But no evidence has ever been discovered. Still, others whisper of darker possibilities, conflicts, struggles, or tragedies too great to leave behind clear answers. Yet, curiously, no remains, no artifacts, no undeniable proof has ever confirmed such an end. Theories swirl, but the truth remains just out of reach. Like the whisper of waves at midnight, the story drifts elusive, unsolved. The Lost Colony of Roanoke has become more than just a historical puzzle. It is a story that echoes through time, of hope and hardship, of mystery and imagination. It reminds us of the risks people take for dreams, of the fragility of life on the edge of the unknown, and how easily entire chapters of history can vanish into silence. For centuries, writers, artists, and historians have tried to piece together what happened. Plays have been written, books published, documentaries filmed, all seeking to answer the same haunting question. What happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke? We may never know. Perhaps the truth is buried beneath the sands of Hatteras Island. Perhaps it lives on in oral traditions of indigenous peoples. Or perhaps it is a mystery meant to linger forever, a reminder that even in our age of science and discovery, some stories remain untold. And so, the Lost Colony of Roanoke remains one of history's most enduring enigmas. An entire community vanished, leaving only questions and a single word carved into wood. As you imagine those empty houses, the silence of abandoned streets, and the word CROATOAN standing like a ghostly marker in time, ask yourself, what do you think really happened? Share your theories in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share with others who love exploring the past. Together, we'll continue uncovering the stories that shape our world. Because sometimes history doesn't give us answers. Sometimes it gives us mysteries that will echo forever